I was in resistance since the beginning of the movement. It was October '98. I came here in Belgrade for studying at Faculty of Philology, Spanish language. But I always was trying to find some very effective way to fight that regime and to fight my system at my faculty. I was a member of Democratic Party. I became a member as a 16-year-old high school student. And when I came to Belgrade, I heard that few young guys were planning to organize some new kind of organizing, a new organization, new way of organizing. In organization, which name should have been Resistance, and which logo should have been Fist. So I, in some way, found myself in that kind of organizing, and I called them. So we met in front of Faculty of Philosophy. That's the place where students are usually meet each other, and that's how the story started. From that moment, I realized that I would be ready to do everything in order to make Milošević more down and to make his regime, to try to bring his regime down. So sometimes I was doing very dangerous things with other colleagues from the resistance, but I said to myself, that's the way, and that's how it's going to be till the end of this regime or till the end of us.
How did you fight? What was the system?
A friend told me that he knew a few guys who wants to make new organization, and he gave me their phone numbers. Later I met them and I realized who they were. They were a little bit older than myself, from 25 to 27, and I realized they were organizers of ex-student demonstrations here in Belgrade from 92 to 96, 97. And they were very experienced, and I believed them that they will make the best way of organizing a new thing, that thing succeed. And I joined them. There were just 8 of us for a few months, just 8 of us, and we started collecting other people around the idea of resistance. Of course, we were students, we still are, and we started spreading this idea of resistance around students, around faculties and universities, first in Belgrade. First we organized protests on 3 biggest faculties in Belgrade in order to motivate other faculties to start protesting. So we organized protests at Faculty of Philology, Electroengineering and Faculty of Law. And after some 5 months of student demonstrations, we just succeeded at Faculty of Philology, where this anti-civilized dean was brought down. On 2 other faculties we didn't succeed, and then we tried to send a message to public that this dean of Faculty of Philology is same as dean of whole country, I mean Milošević. So if we, after 5 months of resistance, if we succeeded in bringing him down, then imagine what people could do with Milošević. But public didn't understand us, and in a very few days bombing came on, and we decided to stop our activities, to freeze our operation until bombing is stopped. And we also promised. Okay.
Voices, the tone is alright, but I just want to, direct it. Can you make another white balance? Just remember what you said last. Could you please hold this exactly here?
Here.
Okay.
This press conference, it was 21st of March '99. We promised to public we promised to Serbian opposition and to Serbian regime, to Serbian authority, that we will be back when a bombing is stopped. And just a few days after bombing, we realized that people were looking for us. And that's how one student movement started becoming one people movement. When professors, our parents, workers started looking upon those activists who organized a thing. And then we opened some offices and started spreading idea all over Serbia. And that's how, in some way, student movement became people's movement.
What was your concrete job in that time until the so-called revolution?
In these 5 months of protesting and faculty of philology, because I was a student of philology, we didn't have any specific job to do, but we were just resisting Dean, who was chasing out our professors. I mean, around 30 best and most known professors of philology was chased out of faculty just because they had their open mind and their opinion. Of course, everything was caused by this law on university, with which university and student mind should be shut down. I don't know, we were organizing, I was organizing marches throughout the town to let other Belgrade citizens know what's happening at Faculty of Philology, to let other students know what's happening at my faculty. And but somehow whole story about movement started with that protest, because all over the town we could see fists of resistance all over the walls of Belgrade. We could see public announcements, first public announcements in Daily Telegraph. After this first public announcement of a fist in one newspaper, Slavko Ćurivija was accused for some 500,000 D-marks and I don't know how many months in jail. And we made something totally new, and the public started talking about us, but no one knew who we were exactly, because we were gathering ourselves at private apartments, and in these private apartments with just one computer and one copy machine we were making leaflets, posters, badges, and planning actions on every faculty. So no specific job. I mean, we were doing everything what we could. For example, in December '98, with a few other activists, we were planning to destroy Šešelj's section at Faculty of Economy. Šešelj is the president of Radical Party and fascist. And I went on the second floor, just above his head, and put a big flag of resistance with a fist and with the text "Leave Resistance" onto his head. Unfortunately, there was no media there, so this section wasn't at media, but it was one of the most dangerous sections. Also, during December of '98, we marched from Belgrade to Novi Sad, around approximately 90 kilometers by foot, just to show public that we are ready to sacrifice ourselves, even we are from 18 to 22 or to 25-year-old, in order to bring Milošević down and in order to motivate them to get out of apathy and I don't know, disappointment in which they were, whole nation were in this kind of apathy.
How was it for, let's say, I'm a student in that time and I want to think about some career the other side. What was the way for the others which didn't decide to be resistant?
activists of movement didn't think for their careers at all. We were just thinking about how to save the country, how to wake up all apathized and disappointed people in this country, because after these huge demonstrations in 96, 97 that failed, people were very they were caught by apathy and misery and disappointments. We just wanted to evoke them. Others were just studying and looking the fastest way to finish studies and to get diploma and to get out of here. That wasn't our policy. I mean, we didn't want to get the university diploma and to get out of this country, because we had over 300,000 left young people, and we were, facing the fact that no potential idea and thought potential will stay in this country. So we wanted to stay, but first we wanted to get rid of Milošević regime.
But were there on the university, okay, there were some Otpor members, there were some people which were just thinking about going to a foreign country, but I think there were for sure also some dual members.
In resistance?
No, not in resistance. In resistance.
Yes, of course, we had this very small number of students. They were presidents and I don't know what else, of student alliances. Those are political bodies at university, and they were proposed by their parties, Socialist Party or Yule Party. And they were stealing money from students. They were making themselves traveling all over the world on student money and student body. So that was we could initiate every protest on this fact, that we had political body at our faculties which was stealing students. So that was just a motive. But of course, our real motive was getting rid of Milošević. So we started at our faculties against these political bodies who didn't represent students. But later on, when we became People's Movement, we were organizing streets just against Milošević. Because we saw that there is no point resisting just to these bodies, because they're very small.
Do you think
They were afraid, but the secret of student or People's Movement or movement resistance is that young people from 16 to 25-year-old, they were ready to sacrifice themselves, and they were ready to motivate and to encourage other older citizens of this country, their parents, their professors, workers of this country, to express this unsatisfaction in all of them. Attacked us, we got approximately 100 more activists more per day. So this personal example is a secret of resistance. Personal example and personal responsibility, because we were not paid for what we had done, for what we were doing for 2 years. We had this relationship based on personal responsibility, that if I told I was going to do this, I did that. Personal responsibility and personal example. If I'm ready to finish in jail because of I'm expressing just my thought or my idea, then I'm motivating older citizens of this country to be resistant too, and to become members of a movement. So in one moment, somehow we had over over 500,000 activists. It was the last days of Milošević regime, before elections on 24th of September, because we were organizing on every place actions at faculties, at street, in local areas. People from neighborhood were connecting themselves and organizing actions in their buildings, and all of them were spreading just one leaflet, just one sticker, just one poster. He's finished. And so we made that was the greatest marketing maybe in this country. We made him finished, and people started to believe in this story, because Serbs, I mean, every nation, every man loves to win, but Serbs especially, they don't like losers. So we made some kind of fiction that he is really finished. So we made public vote against Milošević.
When you think about opposition 2 years ago,
Believe in political parties, especially to political parties in opposition, because of their arguings throughout 10 years without any effect. And just after 96-97, after final arguings between Drašković and Đinđić, people realized that there is no hope, there is no reason to believe in opposition. And for 10 years, in some way, they were ruling with Milošević, ruling this country with Milošević, because they were always dealing between themselves and between them and Milošević. So people stopped believing them, and then we offered something new, and we were kids, and it was much easier to our older citizens to believe in us, to believe that our way is correct way. So probably that is one of the most important reasons they decided to join our movement. And it became true, because in March or May 2000, when it was real tough for activists of resistance, we had over 40,000 activists in the whole country, and we existed in around 170 towns, places in Serbia. So we could organize every day on different 170 places in this country actions. So regime couldn't control this. They just could arrest us, but it was totally false policy, because after one arresting 5 or 10 or 50 more activists came to movement. So that fact and the false policy maybe were the most important things that we became so popular and so dangerous for regime. Of course, another fact that they couldn't control us is very important.
but I mean, you were
for their inauguration, because our first strategical and political aim was to unify Serbian opposition. So after almost a year of acting, we didn't succeed. But then in January 2000, we organized a few very dangerous actions for them dangerous, because they were extremely negative against leaders of Serbian opposition. So we put them on the ground and made them make this agreement on January 2000, when they became democratic opposition of Serbia. And then we started new strategy to proclaim them as the only change for present regime, because we didn't have other opposition. We just have them or us. We were not politically ambitious people. I mean, we were students, and I don't know, some of us were, but as a movement we were not politically ambitious. So
were there fights in Otpor about that?
No fights. Maybe now, because these political ambitious people proposed a new strategy, new plan, new program, and the biggest number of activists don't agree with this new concept. I don't know what will happen there because I'm not a part anymore of that movement. So we announced that opposition, democratic opposition of Serbia, as the only possible changement for regime, and we started then extremely negative campaign against Milošević, and everything succeeded in this September or October. It's in September when, because of this policy, people decided to vote against Milošević or to vote for democratic opposition of Serbia.
How organized was this revolution day? I mean, if I see a bit what happened on that day, I have the impression it was...
I was leading student protests for 3 days. This is the shortest student protest in history. And we believed that on 5th of October something would happen. And we were just marching throughout whole town and somehow inviting people to come on 5th of October on streets. And on 4th of October we realized that there is a plan. I mean, those guys from democratic opposition of Serbia, they had a plan to attack and to free Federal Parliament, Federal Assembly, and the national television. That was the plan. And our role student role, because we took part for organizing students those days, was to invite citizens in front of Federal Assembly with our non-stopping march throughout whole Belgrade. That was our aim. First, our column went to one station to defend this station if something police appear. That station was inviting Belgrade citizens in front of Federal Assembly. But then this column of some 30,000 students couldn't stand up there anymore, and all of us went in front of Federal Assembly and the national television. So if there was a plan, there was just a plan to attack Federal Assembly and national television. I don't know anything else. Probably there were some secret deals between leaders of democratic opposition and police or army squads, but I don't know for that. They are now saying they had these deals. But also maybe student role was very important those days, because for 3 days every day we were going to police and army headquarters, and we were sending them a message to stay with people, to stay neutral in this case, and not to take arms in their hands, etc. So maybe we made whole fiction that there on 5th of October shouldn't be any victims.
So
I mean, we expected much more, of course, but I realized just after 3 months of this revolution that there is no other force except the youth generation. Never mind if these people were part of resistance or not. This is the only force who can essentially change the country, because all the politicians who are now in institutions or in government, they became too old mental feeling, they have ancient mental system in their heads, more or less same as Milošević. So they can't feel what the youth feel or think or want to do. So the youth generations doesn't have any hope here if they don't spread action in society.
Can you give me an example? What criticize today? One example. What do you think? It's worse?
Same kind of same just a second. Same way of announcing things they will fight against. Same methods. We still have same concept of television, same concept of university, of primary and secondary education. And I don't see there is any serious program in which is described how those institutions and those social segments should be healed. I think that just plenty of ideas brought by young people can change this society. And now the question is how these ideas, these thoughts should be organized between themselves. Otpor, I think that Otpor had a chance to connect all of these ideas and to make them much stronger with the popularity, with the credibility that movement had. But some ruling body of resistance made a decision to propose this new patriotism. That is a concept, that is a plan of people's movement Otpor now, and this idea is not slang, is not the way how the biggest number of young people think here. This new patriotism, new patriots, I mean, those words were being used by Milošević regime. In this country, we had just two kinds of people, patriots and betrayers. And now those guys who belong to youth, who should change this country, essentially, they are using same words, same concept of solving things, which is totally false for me. So that's the reason I decided to quit this organization and to start working on my own or with a very small number of other young people with very provocative and totally provocative ideas. Because every segment of social life in this country is so on so low level that I think critical approach to them and huge provocation with interactive character could heal those segments. And I don't think so that these methods will be used by people's movement resistance. They are having totally different direction than this, what I'm talking about. And this is how the youth thinks.
If you look at a person like Koštunica, for example, how would you describe him to?
And with around 60 or 65% of people who believe them, which is again totally false, because that's the way how idols, false idols, could be made. I mean, in this country for 60 years or for last 10 years at least, idolatry was the most important fact, and false idols. And I don't know about Koštunica, but he was elected not because people voted him. People voted just against Milošević. And I think he's doing some things that people I don't want him to do. Like, I don't know, he's having his personal opinion about the Hague Tribune, about, I don't know, about religion, about, I don't know, those are things that I think he shouldn't think and deal with. And and everything is still the same. I mean, he's more or less same figure as Milošević was. Of course, he is better. I mean, he probably is not sick as Milošević, but I'm sick in the head. But I don't see his acting as a president will change this country essentially, or Premier Đinđić's acting, or because they are having their political parties in which relationships are almost the same as Milošević's relationship to his people and to his country. So I can't believe them, and still they young people doesn't have any confidence in these political parties, in the way of dealing inside them. So we don't believe them at all.
Why did you thought to give back the MTV award? You got it. How was that story? Why think to give back MTV award?
I know I saw some things. I heard some things from a very good friend of mine. He was he planned to go on Kosovo and to make a short movie about life down there, about Serbs down there. And for example, he couldn't go down there during the day because it was too dangerous. So he had to go throughout the woods during the night to reach the places where he wanted to picture and to film graves of Serbs who were destroyed. I mean, destroyed graves of Serbs. And some way this international community and forces, they didn't do what they promised they would. I don't know where is the problem, but they promised, and if they belong to the world where this personal and collective responsibility is on very high level, then they shouldn't have promising anything. I know that those days 3 police officers were murdered inside Serbia, not at Kosovo, and when some forces wanted to, Serb police forces wanted to defend others, then these helicopters of KFOR came and announced that they mustn't do this. They mustn't do this action. So I see very, very high hypocrisy in policy down there. So if international community and world sees us as part of open-minded world, I mean, they gave us free mind. It is not connected with MTV, of course, but this MTV award is not given for music. I mean, it is given for opening and freeing someone's mind. So if we are the country of open-minded people, then I don't realize the reasons for this hypocrisy in international policy. But it is totally complex situation. So maybe it's too hard to understand for someone else. For war crimes, he should be responsible and accused in Hague, and for what he had done to his nation, his own nation, he should be responsible, of course, and he should be accused here. That's my opinion. But I see that new authorities just buying time and they're just making confusion bigger by putting this question of Hague Tribunal as a most important question. I mean, why they don't let Hague Tribunal do what is area of Hague Tribunal, and why they don't make these accusations for Milošević inside this country. I mean, they're just buying time because it's very sensitive question and they don't know what to do.